Hey, you guys, what is up? Do you believe in magic? Because if you do, you are going to love the way that this pattern works up. It's like magic. You get these beautiful squares with this wonderful design and awesome looking texture. And as you can see, it looks great in several colors. This is actually Red Heart Retro Stripe, and it's a self-striping yarn, so I didn't actually change any of the colors. It's just coincidence that some of the boxes fell in the stitch pattern. So if you are ready to create magic with your wonderful Afghan crochet hook, go ahead and grab your yarn. This is a 4-ply yarn. I suggest using a size 7mm or maybe even an 8, just so that your item doesn't curl and your stitch pattern is more prominent, meaning like it looks more pop out than if you used a small hook. And I do use a stitch marker to mark the very first stitch that I make in each group. That is the Tunisian reverse stitch. That way I know, like, as I'm crawling up, like where I'm actually at and how, because sometimes it can get confusing. So that's a good way to keep track of where you are within your block. This pattern calls for multiple of 9 plus 2. For my tutorial here, example, I chained a total of 20. So go ahead and chain whatever you like. Remember, the multiple's 9 plus 2, and I will see you in just 1 second. So we have our chain, and we're just going to pick up a loop in starting in the second chain from the hook. And we're going to keep all of our loops on our hook until the very last chain. Next, we're going to close our row, also known as the return row. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way back to the beginning of your project. Now we're ready to start row 1. We're going to Tunisian simple stitch in the first 8 stitches. Now we should have 9 loops on our hook. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And then in the next stitch, we're going to make a Tunisian reverse stitch. So insert your hook. Whoops, this one's a little hard to show on camera, but basically you're going to crochet, turn your work over, and I'm only doing this for tutorial purposes. You don't have to flip it over like this for each time you do the stitch. You're going to catch that back horizontal or vertical bar right there, yarn over and pull up a loop. And it's not going to look significant until you have more of them. So we've made our reverse stitch, and we're going to make 8 more Tunisian simple stitch. And then in our last unworked stitch right here, we're going to make a Tunisian reverse stitch. Okay, and then we're going to Tunisian simple stitch in our end loops. From here, we're going to do a normal close, and the close is going to be the same, just like it was for the foundation row. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops back to the beginning of your row. We're going to start row 2, and basically we're going to decrease the amount of Tunisian simple stitches that we're making on each row, and then we're going to increase the amount of Tunisian reverse stitches. So for the first row, we did 8 Tunisian simple stitch. For the second row, we're going to do 7. So you can see we have one more Tunisian simple stitch, and then we have our reverse stitch. So we're going to make a reverse stitch. So now we're going to have 2 reverse stitch for this row instead of just 1. And then we're going to continue with 7 more Tunisian simple stitch. And we're going to make 2 reverse stitches, one in our stitch that only is Tunisian crochet, and then we're going to have a reverse stitch in the last stitch there. Tunisian simple stitch in your end loops, and then close your row just as before. And now we're ready to do row 3. So for the previous row, we had 7 Tunisian simple stitch, and for this row, we're going to make 6. So this means we're going to have 6 Tunisian simple stitch and 3 Tunisian reverse stitch, because remember, we're increasing our reverse stitches as we're decreasing our Tunisian simple stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now it's time to do our reverse stitches. I hate doing this stitch on camera. It's just not camera friendly. And then we're back to our second block over here, or our second square, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to make 6 Tunisian simple stitch. But as you can see, the reverse stitches are easier to get into also once you get past the foundation row. And close your row just like before. So continue this method. So the next row will be 5 Tunisian simple stitch and 4 reverse stitches. And you're going to do this all the way up until you have 8 Tunisian reverse stitches up here. So this will be your 1 Tunisian simple stitch, and then you'll have 8 Tunisian reverse stitches on here. And then same over here, okay? So go ahead and keep on decreasing your Tunisian simple stitches, increasing your reverse stitches up until you have the 8 rows. And I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so I'm not quite finished yet, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like so that you are pretty clear on how this is supposed to look. So we have 2 Tunisian simple stitch left right here, and then we have our 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reverse stitches. So we're going to work our last Tunisian simple stitch. Oops, let me bring that down a little bit right there. And then we're going to have a total of 8 reverse stitches. So this is the last one. This is our 8th one that we're making right now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and then our last one right here, 8. And then we're going to continue. So we've got one stitch to work over here, our Tunisian simple stitch. And then the rest of them are going to be Tunisian reverse stitch. And your end loops. So now we have one total section, and you can see the dimension, how it switches up from, you know, there's like a little shadow there. And of course, this is more prominent in different shades of light, and also it will look different in different colors of yarn. So we're going to close our row like we normally would. Whoops. Get that loop back on there. And then once we close our row, we're going to be ready to start the new section. The new section is going to be just like the first section. So we're going to start out with 8 Tunisian simple stitch. And then we're going to make our reverse stitch. And then continue. 8 Tunisian simple stitch. And then you're ready for your reverse stitch. End loops. And close your row just like normal. So keep building your item just like this. So you're going to go, and you can kind of look from your other, block here and just follow that method. So it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and then 2 and 1. So it's really easy to follow. And, of course, you can write this down too so that you can have, your own pattern to follow. And let's see what it looks like when it's worked up a little further. Ooh, let's check it out. That is so awesome. I just can't wait to make this in like other colors so that I can see like how cool it really looks. And on a larger scale too, like this is going to make a really awesome blanket. And another note that I wanted to tell you guys really quick before we finish up here is a great way to keep track of your item, of how many rows that you have completed is to put a stitch marker in the very first Tunisian reverse stitch that you do when you're starting your new section. So this is a new section row right here, and this is the first Tunisian reverse stitch. So just keep that there, and then once you finish the section, just move it up to the next section, and that way you know what exactly you have to do. All right, let's continue. All right, let's get ready to bind off. And this is a really simple process. Just go ahead and chain 1. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm just going to do Tunisian simple stitch across the top, but I am going to bind it off in Tunisian simple stitch instead of just using like the top loops. So let's insert our hook into that front horizontal bar and vertical bar and horizontal loop, just like that. And then we're just going to pull that through, slip stitch it. And just continue to bind that off all the way across. All right, I actually finished with a single crochet in my end loop here. You can do whatever you would like. All right, you guys, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, this is the end of the tutorial for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As usual, I love hanging out with you guys. And until next time, peace out and happy crochet.